Hello, this is Vani, and welcome to the news with NDTV. It's Thursday, July 17, and coming up in today's episode, India welcomes US terror designation of TRF, chilling CCTV from Bihar hospital murder, Bhupesh Baghel's son arrested by ED, and Elon Musk reignites Epstein file controversy targeting Trump. India welcomed the United States' move to designate the Resistance Front (TRF), the group behind the Pahalgam terror attack, as a terrorist organization and described the effort as a strong affirmation of India-US counterterrorism operation. In a post on X, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar appreciated the efforts of US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his department for designating the TRF as a terror group, which is a shadow group of the banned Pakistan based terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba. In a separate statement, the Military of External Affairs said, India has consistently emphasized the need for global cooperation in the fight against terrorism and the dismantling of terror infrastructure. The designation of TRF is a timely and important step reflecting the deep cooperation between India and the United States on counterterrorism. It added, India remains committed to a policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism and will continue to work closely with its international partners to ensure that terrorist organizations and their proxies are held accountable. The TRF had claimed responsibility for the terror attack at Baisaran on April 22nd, which killed 25 tourists, including one Nepali citizen. In a statement on Thursday, Marco Rubio announced the Department of State's decision to add the TRF under Foreign Terrorist Organization and Specially Designated Global Terrorist. Quote, these actions taken by the Department of State demonstrate the Trump administration's commitment to protecting our national security interests, countering terrorism, and enforcing President Trump's call for justice for the Pahalgam attack. Unquote, the statement said. TRF and other associated aliases have been added to LET's designation as FTO and STGD, pursuant to a Section 2019 of the Immigration and Nationality and Executive Order 13224, respectively. Following the attack, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth spoke to Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and extended condolences over the loss of lives. He also reiterated US's strong support to India. An Indian delegation led by Congress MP Shashi Tharoor also held an excellent meeting with US Vice President G.D. Vance in Washington and briefed him on the Operation Sindoor that India launched in response to the attack. A fresh video has emerged of the accused in the Bihar hospital shooting incident, showing the five armed men's last-minute roadside discussion moments before the brazen murder of Chandan Mishra. The nearly 2-minute CCTV footage shows two men, one of whom is the detained accused Tausif Badshah, standing outside a house in Patna. Three other accused joined them shortly. The group then stood in a corner of the road and spoke, believed to be discussing the murder plan. Shortly after, a CCTV footage from inside Patna's upscale Paras hospital captured the five men entering a corridor in silence. Tausif Badshah, in what the internet is calling movie-style swagger, killed Chandan Mishra, who was a well-known gangster with 24 criminal cases against him that included a dozen murders. Chandan was on parole for medical treatment and had been admitted to Paras Hospital under guard. But on Thursday morning, five men strolled into the hospital, walked unimpeded to the ICU, open-fired, and vanished into the chaos after killing Chandan. At 7:30 a.m., the first report came in. By 8 a.m., CCTV footage of the killing was circulating on social media. Within hours, the police had identified all five attackers. After the killing, two photographs surfaced that only added to the brazenness of the act. Tausif is seen riding pillion on a motorcycle with two others, one hand raised in the air, holding a pistol. Another attacker appears to celebrate the killing with both hands raised in triumph. Police sources confirm that the murder is rooted in an old rivalry between Chandan Mishra and a gangster named Sheru. Once aliases, Chandan and Sheru reportedly fell out in Bhagalpur jail. Chandan later broke away and began operating independently, though still branding his gang under the Sheru gang label. According to the police, Tausif Badshah belongs to Patna's Fulwari Sharif. He already had a criminal record and is named in at least one case under the Arms Act. According to the police, Tausif had recently become involved in contract killing and had started accepting money to carry out murder or to provide logistics for such operations. The Bihar police have detained 6 suspects so far from Patna and Buxar. Intensive searches are underway at known hideouts, particularly those linked to the Sheru gang. Former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's son, Chaitanya Baghel, has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with a money laundering probe against him linked to an alleged liquor scam. This arrest triggered chaos in the assembly and protests by the Congress in the opposition after a surprise defeat to the BJP in the 2024 state election, which forced a brief adjournment of proceedings. The arrest came shortly after the federal agency searched the Baghel family's home in the town of Bhilai, a residence also raided in March. The arrest came shortly after the federal agency searched the Baghel family's home in the town of Bhilai, a residence also raided in March, though then it was the Central Bureau of Investigation acting against the senior Congress leader in the Mahadev betting app scam. Mr. Baghel, who faces corruption allegations linked to the Mahadev case, dripped sarcasm as he confirmed his son's arrest in an ex post, thanking Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, the ruling BJP's two tallest leader, for the birthday gift for his son. Quote, the kind of birthday gifts PM Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah give cannot be given by anyone in any democracy of the world. On my birthday, both the most respected leaders sent the ED to the houses of my advisor and 2 officers on special duty. And now, on my son Chaitanya's birthday, the Enforcement Directorate team is raiding my house. Thank you for these gifts. I will remember them for life, Bhupesh Baghel said. The Congress and other opposition parties have routinely accused the Bharatiya Janata Party of using federal investigative agencies like the ED and the CBI to harass and target rival politicians, particularly before an election. The BJP has just as routinely rebutted this charge. Billionaire Elon Musk has once again targeted the Trump administration over the refusal to release documents related to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, appearing to suggest the denial may be due to mention of the US President Donald Trump's name in the case files. Trump and his Republican allies have benefited from conspiracy theories surrounding the case for years, for it fueled the conservative MAGA movement and targeted his political enemies. But now in power, Trump is faced with an unfamiliar role of trying to shut down the very same conspiracy theories amid persisting furor over the files related to the accused sex trafficker. Replying to a post asking what happened to the evidence against Epstein, Musk wrote on X, yeah, where is it? He also asked where is phase 2 of the declassified Epstein files released by Attorney General Pamela Bondi in February earlier this year. Musk's posts came hours after the Trump administration abruptly filed Maureen Comey, a Manhattan federal prosecutor who worked on the criminal cases against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein was a wealthy financier and convicted sex offender who died by suicide in jail in 2019 while facing federal charges of sex trafficking minors. It was alleged that he paid teenage girls money to perform sex acts and used his one time girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, to recruit and manage his stable of victims. Epstein had pleaded not guilty and the case was dismissed after his death. Maxwell, for her part, is serving a 20-year prison sentence after being convicted in 2021 of conspiring with Epstein to aid his abuse for nearly a decade. Trump and Epstein have been documented to have known each other socially in the 1990s and early 2000s. During Maxwell's trial, she and Epstein's longtime pilot Lawrence Wysocki had testified that Trump had flown on that disgraced financier's private plane multiple times. However, mere acquaintance or mention in an FBI file is not by itself incriminating, since such files not by itself incriminating, since such files often contain witness statements or even bad tips. Trump has denied ever being on the plane, has not been accused of any wrongdoing. The saga burst back into the news last week after the Trump administration reversed course on its pledge to release the documents it had suggested would reveal major revelation about Epstein and his alleged clientele. That reversal has enraged some of the Trump's most loyal followers. In an attempt to contain the fallout, Trump and the White House officials are weighing a range of options, including unsealing new documents, appointing a special prosecutor, and drafting executive actions on issues such as pedophilia, according to a Reuters report. Trump and senior aides have also reached out to key MAGA aligned influencers, urging them to dial down their criticism of administration's handling of the Epstein investigation and shift focus to broader priorities for the America First movement, the reporter said. That's all for today. You were listening to the news with NDTV, your daily newspaper and bulletin wrapped in a compact podcast. If you want to catch up with the day's events in a hurry, do subscribe to the Daily News on Spotify, Apple, and the NDTV News app. This is your host Bani, signing off.